My name is Samantha Butler, and I moved to Hong Kong in February 1995, and I pretty much started Wing Chun soon after arriving. I turned up at the school. It was a building right near Prince Edward MTR station, just this old regular Hong Kong building, and you come out of the lift and then it's just like a square room with a bit of equipment there, a couple of wooden dummies, some sandbags, some punching bags, this sort of dingy toilet off to the side, which was almost like my private dressing room, because I don't recall there being many girls at the gym apart from maybe one other occasionally. So that toilet was the place where I got dressed. And Wong Sifu is just sitting in the corner at a table and seems to spend most of his time just watching television. When I arrived, I'm just this young Western girl from Australia. I'm kind of used to this system of, you have lessons, you have belts, you do your gradings and things like that. And then I turn up and it's just this big room. People just train whenever and whatever they want. You learn mostly from the sihings. There's no aircon, just have the windows open. No one wears a uniform, so like half the guys are just sort of semi-naked, all sweaty, or just wearing a singlet. Even Wong Sifu himself is usually just wearing a singlet. He looks like the kind of person that you wouldn't even notice in the street, like just a regular Chinese man going to the park to play chess with his friends, But I loved it because to me it was a very authentic Chinese experience. Like, who needs a uniform? Who needs lessons? Who needs grading and belts? Like, you find your mentor and then you just study under him and you just keep practicing until you get better and better. So you'll be practicing with your friends and with the sihings, but then suddenly he'll be next to you and then he's showing you something. And you think, wow, he's always watching. Even though he seems to be sitting there watching television the whole night, he's always watching all his students and fixing things up that he notices. And when he comes over, you can see that his hands and his arms, he's still this really powerful fighter, even though he's close to 60 years old. And he just looks like some old man walking down the street. He's actually really very strong and solid. It was more than 30 years ago. I do have that memory of how strong his arms are, but yeah, he's very, very intimidating, even though he's not someone of a big size, From what I remember, there wasn't really much formal instruction. You just turn up and then you have the people that you normally train with. So of course, the sihings are always there, like Chang Kim Man. And then, of course, I did a lot of training with Ruspa Patel and Cliff Leung. Obviously, I train with the people who I can communicate with, and some of the other younger people like me who maybe were at the same level. So would you start there, you practice your T-sao, your forms and everything, and then someone will come over and just give you some tips. That's it. That was really mainly the instruction. It wasn't like a structured class or anything. I can talk about the actual gym, It was just this big empty room. They had some wooden dummies there. I think I was at the stage towards the end where I was probably starting to learn the wooden dummy, but I found it a bit intimidating to just go up to that sort of equipment and just use it. But they did have like sandbags like that nailed to the wall that you could punch. And so I thought, oh, well, that's not intimidating. I can just go up and start punching the sandbag. But these bags with sand in it, they were covered with the hardest, roughest material, canvas, I guess it was. But as soon as you punch it, you start to lose the skin on your knuckles. And as I start punching it, and then I realize that this bag is just covered with spots of blood because people start bleeding and they're still punching the bag. Yeah, it's not like nowadays. This is very soft. This is not like the old days. I remember when I first came to the club, and they said to me that, oh, you know, I mean, I just arrived in Hong Kong, I'm half Chinese, my relatives in Hong Kong gave me a Chinese name. So when I turned up at the club, they said, oh, you know, I tried to sign my name in as Sam. They said, no, you can't write your English name, you have a Chinese name, so you have to sign in with your Chinese name. So I had to get out my ID card because I didn't know how to write my name, and it had lots of strokes in it, so it's really small, so I was practicing writing it, and then all the students would gather around and say, oh, it looks like a child's writing. Do you need a ruler? You know, so then I would have to go home and really practice my Chinese name so that I wouldn't get teased every time I signed into the club. So that was good. I can learn Kung Fu as well as how to write Chinese. Yeah, that's it. Yes, this is... This.
I remember your name.
Pagkasin. And then everyone would tease me and say it sounds like Picasso in Chinese, you know. I do remember that there was one other girl who came a few times, but not much. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I loved it. I wasn't bothered by the sweaty, half-naked men training, you know, and the dirty old facilities. Yeah, it was great. It was great. Anyone who is a similar level, then we chi sao together. Yeah, I mean, it's only those ones who maybe they're a lot higher level than us and they wouldn't train with us, right? You know, and then we were all like similar age.
She's a girl.
I'm sure I did, right? Yes, yeah. I don't remember having that many conversations with him because I don't know how good his English was. So if he ever came over to teach me anything, he would just do it through his movements. And if you had an understanding of Wing Chun, you knew what he was explaining to you. I never felt bad or anything, being the only girl there. Everyone was really nice to me and really supportive, you know, and I don't think he treated me any differently to anyone else who was learning. I mean, I sort of expected that he would overlook me, but he didn't.